Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Grab a cold one, crank up the volume, and join the show. Welcome to NBNR Live. And here we go.
It's no block, no rock. Go Big Red indeed. No block, no rock. Episode 229. Gotta say, that whole transition from the intro to me, so much quicker than it has been in the past couple of weeks. No offense, Mike.
Somebody new on the buttons.
Hey.
There he is. He's back.
No, listen. For one, Kyle, missed your lovely face. Missed you.
Hey, fellas, believe me, I would be here if I could. It's just been kind of a crazy few weeks.
Your life's
Busy man.
Yeah, busy.
Your life is crazy.
Yeah, right now. I think we're coming down to the end of the road. So my life's about to be back on track. I'll be here every Monday.
Like boys to men.
That's right.
End of the road.
Yep.
But Mike, give credit to Mike. He did an admirable
Mike?
job. He did.
Yeah.
Good job. Good boy. Good boy.
Like
Give
they
him an
say in showbiz, the show must go on, right?
Okay.
We prepare, we have to figure it out, right?
Thank you.
Right?
Hashtag FIO.
Much like Husker
Figure it
football, our QB1 isn't always available.
Hey,
Sometimes you got to go to Jalen Graham's stat.
dude, I'm fucking Riker Fife, baby. Let's go.
All right. Nebraska Brewing Company, thank you for being one of our primary sponsors. I'm holding Cardinal Pale Ale. I got to make a confession. Connor, don't hate me. Okay.
Okay.
I went to Hy-Vee. I see some pickle beer
Yeah.
by Infusion. I'm like, okay. Everybody's copying off you guys,
Well,
right? You No.
I'm not alleging any of that.
You were the first. Local. Even if you weren't, I'm still saying you were.
I believe we were actually.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'll try it. Zip lines, no good. Infusions, no good. Only Nebraska Brewing Company. If you're going to get a pickle beer, that's the only one to get. I'm telling you,
Pickle fight.
pickle fight all the way. I'm not just saying this because I'm biased. I'm admitting right now that I am biased. I am. But I'm telling you, it's not even close. Not even close.
We do have another release of Pickle Fight slated for, I think, mid-June or maybe late June. So there will be a bunch of fresh cans. You can't buy it right now. It's gone.
That's why I had to settle for that piece of shit Infusion.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not out here. I do not advocate for
Slander.
talking shit on other breweries.
Well, look, Infusion's not one of our sponsors.
We're friends with a lot of the other breweries.
Yeah, let the record show I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Not you, not me.
But
good.
Pickle Fight itself will be back, and it will be back this summer.
It'll be back. It'll be big. It'll be beautiful. Bigger than ever.
Big pickle.
Big pickle.
What? What's so funny, Mike? Why is that funny? Put the pickle in my mouth. Big pickle.
Oh, God.
Not the spicy pickle.
All right.
Just the regular pickle.
Shut up about
Mike,
pickles.
Mike, what do you got?
Let's talk about our other sponsor, Draft Top. It is one of our sponsors. Take your tops off with Draft Top. If you want to drink your beer, your pickle beer, your EOS Hefeweizen. KB's back, so I had to celebrate by having a little EOS Hefeweizen.
Twist.
No spillage because I'm not in front of the laptop. Only when I'm in front of the laptop, I spill.
Very
Yeah,
careful.
now he's going to be perfect.
Yep.
Mike has the best
Oh.
form out of all of us.
Look at that.
No mess.
Takes the top right off.
Smooth.
World class for sure.
Not cutting
Oh,
your
yeah.
lip.
Yeah, we ain't cutting any lips.
What's the code that they're supposed to use if they go to the affiliate
So
link?
there's an affiliate link, and all you have to do is use our link and buy something, and we get money. So, like, if you really want to support the pod, if you're a big fan of Tops Off, whatever you want, any kind,
Yeah,
support the pod. Get one of these. They come in all kinds of different designs.
we should make that our pinned tweet on our.
Tops Off.
Yeah, no, just the affiliate link.
Yeah.
That should be our pinned tweet so people can just go, yeah, take your tops off through this link. But we should make that our pinned tweet there so people can access that link really easily.
Yeah.
It is in podcast notes. I know you guys have been getting that done. It's been in comments, everything like that.
Yeah.
That's
it's
all
in
he
there.
can think about.
It's
Tops off. Tops off.
Hey.
Tops off.
Hey,
Pants tent.
it's catchy.
I'm sitting
Connor,
next
what
to
are
him.
you
I got a
drinking?
hand here to keep that thing down.
Tops off.
So I am also drinking a Cardinal, and I actually waited just so I could do this.
Do it. Beautiful.
Chris.
Cardinal, the beer that built the brewery, but I do have something. I know we talked about next week. We're gonna restock the cooler, get some fresh beers in here. But you guys know what I'm gonna bring next week.
Squeeze the day.
Oh, it ain't squeeze the day.
Squeeze.
It's Pilsner.
Oh,
We got some Pilsner back in
Okay.
cans.
That's fine.
Oh, no.
So it is limited availability. If you find it at your store, buy it. There it is limited availability for the time being, but it is going to be back for a little bit. And Squeeze the Day is coming. We're targeting, I think, an early to mid-June release on Squeeze the Day. So that is also coming right around the same time frame as Pickle Fight.
When's the usual time frame for Squeeze the Day?
Squeeze the Day. This is funny, and not something I expected to get into today. The regular time frame is May, but we had some issues with foreign ingredients that I obviously won't get into. But with foreign providers, we kind of had to delay things. So hopefully all of that's been figured out, and we'll be ready to go right around like mid-June.
Cool.
Sweet. KB, what you got?
I'm drinking the EOS Hefeweizen as I do every Monday, as long as there's some in the fridge and you guys haven't scavenged all of them. But yeah, this is it. This is always it for me. Every time I go into the brewery, every time that I'm hanging out with you guys, I make sure we've got EOS on deck, and that's what I'm going with.
Love at first taste.
Yeah.
Never giving it up. You'd rather die than drink anything else.
Because you know why? Because it's world class.
In every glass. He just stole that from
Bada
me.
bing, bada
It's
boom.
fine.
Hey,
I set him up. I set him up.
I'm legally required to finish that.
Hey,
so
I'm Gary Payton. You're Sean Kemp.
that's fine.
You finished it off.
Yeah.
You slam that shit home.
Got
Then you point at the dude in your face.
Hey,
Connor, in your face.
so BA says, what issues were you having, Connor? Please explain in further detail and be very specific who is at fault. And for the sake of the show, we're not going to go there.
yeah, no,
Absolutely
there's you couldn't pay. Tell you what, you give us a $10,000 super chat, and
There
I
it
will
is.
go into detail.
There it is. and,
10,000.
and do not start your sentence with normally.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, that's where I was
Connor.
really, that's the only reason I asked when it's usually out, because I figured you go, well, normally.
Like a dingus. Okay. Mike, do you want to start off with your, I'm not saying your thing. I shouldn't say your thing, but the Scott, the
There it is.
UCF head coach, Scott Frost. No, we can say it because it's UCF.
Right, go ahead.
The UCF head coach, Scott Frost.
Yeah.
Thing. The
He
thing.
doesn't deserve any more respect now that he's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, you set this up with like you wanted to ask the question. I'll throw it over to you. Go ahead.
Which question are you referring to?
You wanted to go around and ask us a certain question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I just like we want to close the chapter on former head coach Scott. We've done that, but he keeps showing back up in our lives, in headlines, etc. So we're gonna do it quick, hit it and get it.
So
But
you're
go around. Like, are you rooting for Scott at UCF? We'll go around the table, and then if you want to go into why, make it quick. Go, Connor. You start.
Connor, go.
I think I've been going to therapy a lot recently.
Oh, good.
This is just a toxic relationship. We want to move on. And I've seen comments about people like, why are you still talking about this guy? Whatever. The reason we still talk about him is because he still talks about us.
He talks about us
Without putting his
hurting.
name in their mouth.
Yeah. And with the Mike Usen article from Sports Illustrated today saying that he would not take accountability for his failures at Nebraska, that's not news. You didn't do it while you were here. So no, I have nothing against UCF, but no, I'm not rooting for him. Fuck you. Like,
Fuck you.
just
Keep it simple.
Just leave us alone.
Go away.
We are moving past this.
Yeah.
We have a healthy relationship with our current head coach, Matt Rhule.
Which
who
we'll
is
get
a-
into.
Yeah, we have a healthy relationship here. At least it seems to be. No, I'm not rooting for you. I'm focused on my current relationship. Move on. He needs to move on.
we're going to absolutely murder you.
Yeah. Kyle, what do you think?
Okay, so just a couple quick hits here. Number one, we keep saying leave us alone. He never mentions our name.
We keep the name out the mouth. He does.
He keeps our name out his mouth.
But it's an issue.
And what are we expecting until he gets past his first season at UCF? Reporters are always going to ask, hey, what did you learn from your previous stop? Because that's the natural question, right?
That's fair.
Like, it did not go well at your previous spot.
Yeah, my
And
last ex.
he's never going to get up and he's not going to say, oh yeah, Nebraska was a shithole for me. And like, oh, it was bad. And he's never going to say that stuff. Right now, the like little like backhanded comments where it's like, yeah, people wanted me to go there. I didn't want to go there. And, oh, it wasn't a good spot for me. And I wasn't really happy, whatever. Right. Like, fine. Sure. You might've felt like that, but to me, he's really not like, he's not dragging us through the mud. He's literally never said Nebraska. He just won't.
Okay.
And on a PR side, right, that is exactly what he would have been advised. And so, like, as long as what's he supposed to do? Is he supposed to just, every time a reporter asks him questions about your previous spot, he's just supposed to be like, not going to answer. He's got to say something.
Can he not just say, I learned a lot?
He could.
Just something like that. Like, you don't have to say, like.
He could. And on the accountability aspect, there's a lot where he could come out and say, yeah, I just didn't have this right. Matt Rhule came to Nebraska and said, yeah, I got fired for reasons that sometimes were out of my control, sometimes were in my control. Yeah. He said, I learned a lot with the Panthers. He said, it didn't work out. I realized I don't really like coaching in the NFL. I like forming young men. Matt Rhule has come out and he's just been very transparent. Like, hey, man, yeah, it just didn't work out for me. And I learned a lot. Scott. Not that one. Yeah. He seems to just not ever take that accountability. Like, and that does bother me. That does bother me.
Yeah.
So it does bother you.
It does bother me.
Okay. And I don't want to speak for you, but I think one of the main reasons why it bothers Husker fans so much, like he has the comment about meat grinder, right? And I think we would agree with him on that. It is a meat grinder.
100%.
And this job is not for everybody, just like the state isn't, right? But I think when you have people like Scott that have been here and they don't do well and they don't admit that they could have done things a little better or I could have done this differently, I think we take that personally because this is our baby and this is all we have. And so when you don't have a person that failed here, pretty much just say like, yeah, it's really hard to win there.
Or like apologizing. Something like that. Like not apologizing, say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I failed there. But like being sensitive to the subject that like, hey, you let everybody down.
Dude, he literally could just say, that's my home. That's my alma mater. I don't want to answer any more questions about that, okay? And I don't want to answer any more questions about Nebraska.
True.
It's a special place for me, and it didn't work out. He could close the chapter. He refuses to do that. Keep going.
I just wanted to, like, my point was, when you have these prominent people going out and calling Nebraska a very hard place to win, it's like you're saying that there's something wrong with the place rather than something you did, right? And so we take that personally. So like we take it, we're sensitive. We're sensitive about this place because it's our baby. It's all we have. And so when you go out there and say, it's really hard to win there without talking about the great things about this program. There are so many great things about it. Now, you have to be a different type of person to take advantage of those great things, those advantages that we have that other schools don't. And yeah, so if you can't just come out and say, I could have done things differently, we take that personally. It's our baby. It's all we have. So why don't you just say like, yeah, well, I could have done this differently or better.
My question is, when you talk about, the statement, Nebraska is a hard place to win. I want to go back to UCF. It's like, so what does that say about you? You just weren't up to the challenge and you want to go back to where it's easy to do the job.
Yeah. He said like palm trees and.
I think that's like just this immense cop out that like it's hard there. We're in the Big Ten. I've talked about it. If I've said it 1,000 times, I've said it 10,000. The Big Ten's like the hardest conference in football right now.
Yeah.
Especially with the addition of Oregon. And there's another team that got added to, a couple.
Yeah.
But Oregon specifically, it's hard. This is a hard conference. So if you're just saying, oh, it's hard to do it, I'm going to go back over here to the AAC.
Well, it
just means you weren't meant for this.
It's a Big 12 now. But
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same thing.
Well, to answer Mike's question, you had asked if we are cheering for him. And like, I want to switch it around a little bit because I feel like it would kind of change it a lot. Are you rooting against him?
Yeah.
You're rooting against him.
Yeah.
Now, just for the record, I want to say, if I'm watching football on a Saturday and I happen to see a UCF score across the bottom and they win, I'm not going to do cartwheels. I'm not going to say good for Scott. Now, if they lose, I'm also not going to cheer and be like, fuck Scott. I am the definition of neutral, but at the same time, I don't want them to win 9 games.
Yeah.
Or make a playoff. I don't want them to do that. I want them to be mid as fuck.
My extent of my recognition will be if they win on that bottom ticker, I go, huh. And if they lose, I go, that's it.
Yeah.
It's a 1-syllable reaction,
Like, it's
regardless of result.
it's kinda-
he doesn't occupy, that program doesn't really occupy any part of my mind.
Yeah.
Except for like, oh, there's the score. Either, oh, they won. Good for them.
Like,
Or, oh, they lost. Huh?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm 55-45 wanting them to lose. 55-45. I'm not like, fuck Scott. But I want them to be 6-6 every year. That's what I want. That's what I want for him.
So Nebraska.
The only positive thing,
Okay. Well, we might talk about that later.
if UCF wins, like if Scott wins at UCF, the only positive part is just reaffirming how bad the Big 12 is.
Yeah.
That's the only positive part for me. If Scott wins at UCF, is it just reaffirms how bad the Big 12 is. Now, everything else, when I see that bottom ticker, I want to see him lose every single game.
L.
Because
Mike.
he refuses to take accountability. I always say, don't point the finger if you can't point the thumb. And I said that the entire time he was at Nebraska. It's like, dude had a huge issue with pointing the thumb. And he can say whatever the hell he wants about, oh, I didn't want to go there and this and that. He was also the one that was, being anointed the freaking golden boy, going up there saying that people are going to adjust to him type shit. So you can say this now, hindsight's 2020. Now that you realize that you sucked and you didn't put in enough work to get the job done. I mean, dude could not give up the play calling shit when it wasn't working. He could, there were so many issues on and off the field.
You know what he realized is like, he came in. Okay, we're making this longer than it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
I will always say, and I've said it many times, both on the pod and off, Nebraska had to make the hire. Scott, you had to come here. We had to do it. Imagine. For real, Scott, I'm talking to you right now, Scott. I know you're watching. Hi, buddy. Hope the palm trees are nice. Imagine if you didn't come here. Okay. Now, but since you came here, imagine if you would have made it work. Being a legend at Nebraska, it's not the same as being a legend at UCF. Imagine if you would have made it work.
Yeah.
Dude, you would have been our TO. But it didn't turn out that way. But we had to figure that out. We had to go through the process. It was a lot harder to win here than you thought it would be. You guys remember at Kansas State, he was talking about shitty coaches that we had and, oh, they're not good enough and blah, blah, blah. They're tearing this place apart. It's a little bit harder than you thought. But dude, you would have spent all your time at UCF wondering, damn, why didn't I go? I could have been a legend. All that had to happen.
I have one quick question before I think we probably want to put a bow on the.
We're gonna put
Scott
a bow on the Scott fuck era forever.
I have
forever.
one
Until the
quick
next
question,
article comes out.
and this question is specifically for Mike. In the Big 12, a UCF Colorado matchup, do you root for Colorado, UCF, or a meteor to strike the stadium?
Yeah, number 3.
Yeah.
Fuck Colorado, fuck Scott Frost. Like,
Damn.
I'm sorry, like it just didn't work. It didn't work, but I'm not going to root for the guy. It'd be different if, like I said, it's his home. If he would have gone in there and been like, hey, that's my home. That's my alma mater. Like, I don't have anything else to say. Don't ask me any more questions about Nebraska. I just want to focus on UCF. Take the Casey Thompson approach. Totally fine with it. He hasn't done that. He refuses to do that. So fuck off.
Right. I mean, he could have just said it was a valuable learning experience.
Yes.
But by him not doing that, he is implying that it was strictly the place.
Hey,
Yeah.
And we cannot accept that as a fan base.
Absolutely not. Right?
That's what pissed me off the most. That article mentioned Frank Solich and Bo Pelini. I feel that the University of Nebraska did both of those dudes wrong. And so I for the longest time, if I saw Frank Solich, he gets added into the Hall of Fame and all this other stuff, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, get in there. You had great success. Very nice. Very nice. And then Bo Pelini, like, guys, contrary to popular belief, I don't really follow Youngstown State all that much.
Yeah.
But even to this day, I have no hard feelings against Bo Pelini. Whatever was said when the mics were hot, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me whatsoever because I feel like the University of Nebraska did both of them wrong.
Agreed.
And so it is the total opposite of what Scott went through. It's the total opposite.
They gave him every opportunity, every resource.
Too many opportunities.
Way too many. That's why we started this freaking podcast.
Hey,
Because
keys.
the
Give him the
leash
keys,
was
right?
too long.
Give him the keys. When we give him the keys, big
bad.
mistake.
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
All right.
And
turn
now,
the page.
one more thing. I think another point too is this whole question of like, why would you root for him? I think a big thing is he comes across as unlikable. Scott does.
Mm-hmm.
He just comes across as unlikable and kind of a dick, right? And which is great if you're winning.
Yeah.
You can be as unlikable as you can be. You can be the biggest asshole on planet Earth. I don't think people are clamoring that Nick Saban was some sweetheart. Okay, but he won a lot. He's kind of a dick. You have to kind of win to earn that, being an asshole. And I think that's kind of how he comes across by not just saying I could have done better.
He's the jock that never got out of being the star quarterback.
Peaked in 97.
Peaked in AAC. That's where he peaked.
Well, and that's another thing too, is like he had never really experienced failure, right? He had won a lot, both as a player and at UCF he won. And when what is this losing?
When he was coaching at Oregon, he was finding great success. Realistically, you are correct. The only time that he's really failed in his career was at his alma mater, at his home.
Yeah.
So look, and I'm a grown man. Like I'm not going to sit around on Saturdays and be like, Scott Frost. I hope you know.
I'm going to.
I hope. Like I could care less what you do from here on out.
Because here's the thing. Like I personally, I don't need him. I don't need him to admit fault. Do you know why? Because I already know that.
Yeah.
I already know. Okay. I don't need him to say it. I don't take it personal. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
16 and 31. 16 and 31.
Quick question. Kyle, you bring up Oregon and UCF. Oregon, he was an OC, UCF head coach.
Mm-hmm.
When he was OC at Oregon, was that the Mariota years?
Yeah,
it was.
And then his years at UCF, he had Mackenzie Milton.
Yep.
So the only success he's had is because he's had just absurdly talented QBs.
Well,
Milton was only like a two.
I would go so far though as to say that he had plenty in Adrian Martinez. Plenty.
I was
everything around him, he blew it.
You mean New York Jets quarterback Adrian Martinez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Hey,
I think he had enough. I think he had enough talent here.
Well,
at least to do better than what he did.
Yeah. There it is.
No,
Thank you. There it is.
That, but I at Oregon, still playing at the Pac-12. That technically still exists. It just wasn't that good. And Oregon was always has been for perennially, this team that's really good but not great. And then he goes down to UCF when they were in the AAC prior to the Big 12, and he had Mackenzie Milton playing shit competition. But then he came and he got Adrian, who's an absolute warrior, fought through absurd injuries, and just couldn't hack it in the Big 10. Like,
Yeah.
that's okay to say. Like, I learned a lot, and I'm back where I'm comfortable, and I can succeed here. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting a bow on that.
Yep. And with that, we're putting a bow, at least for the foreseeable future, on former head coach Scott.
Yep.
Hopefully forever.
Until the next interview.
Until
Where he
something else
says
to me.
Nebraska without saying Nebraska.
He says specifically, Jared Hall is a fucking pussy.
That would be using a name though. Like,
Name drop.
Yeah.
I take it.
That's a clip.
I didn't go 16-31.
That's fair.
But then again, he's also a millionaire with. He's got it pretty good right now.
Yeah. A couple of baby mamas, a couple of houses.
Okay. I figure. Okay. Did you guys have anything in particular you wanted to talk about?
Well, I think the topic that Mike brought to the table here was is Matt Rhule untouchable?
Ooh.
That's the question that he brought.
I think that one could go for a little bit.
I think so too.
I think we go there next and kind of see what we have left for whatever you want to finish with. But
Okay.
let's go around the table, guys. Is there a win total that Matt Rhule has to get to
be
keep
safe?
to be safe at Nebraska? Is there a win total, or is he just totally untouchable? He could win one game next year and still be the head coach of Nebraska.
Are we talking this current season?
This current season coming up, year 2, Dylan Raiola, year 3, Matt Rhule. Is there a scenario where Matt Rhule will not be the head coach in 2026?
Want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say. So what they went 7-6 last year, and yes, we count the 7 because it happened.
It happened,
right?
They did win.
I'll just say if he wins 6, the talk will be talking, right? It'll be bubbling up. But in order for it to actually happen, in order for him to be touched, geez. I mean, I think if it's like 4, then it's like, bruh.
4? You said the number's 4.
Right? I mean, am I crazy for saying 4? Now I got 3.
What about 5? If he gets 5,
if he gets 5,
if he regresses,
if he gets 5, he will still be here. But the seat will be fucking just.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! I actually,
he won't be able to sit. He'll be like this. If he wins, if it's 5 or 6, he'll be like this. If it's 4, then he's touched.
He's gone.
I would say so. If it's 4,
that's actually the exact thought I have in my head is the lowest you can possibly go this season is 5 wins. You get 4 wins, you're probably fired. There's going to be comments in there saying, we can't just move on from coaches this fast.
You're not wrong.
But the Huskers have continued to have strong recruiting classes. We're getting good transfers. We're getting these guys in. Again, I don't know that it's been a talent issue in quite some time. So if you go 4-8 this season, unfortunately, I think you got to do it. 5 wins is the absolute bare minimum. 6 wins is still like hey, what the hell, man? Like
the seat's hot.
This schedule, I think, is relatively favorable. We don't know what these teams are going to look like yet. It's May. It's mid-May. But I think we should reasonably be expecting or at least hoping for 7 regular season wins.
KB, what do you think? You love these conversations.
Is he untouchable?
You love
KB?
him.
I think as long as Troy Dannon is here, based off their prior relationship and the way that Matt Rhule operates and handles the media and handles going to NASCAR races and hanging out on victory lane and bringing in 5-star quarterback Dylan Raiola and building things in the transfer portal, he is untouchable until Troy Dannon is no longer around. And even then, tell me an AD that would not want to work with a Matt Rhule.
Right.
Unless you are unless you bring in the AD from like Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, where bar none, you are going to win. right? Troy Dannon they're going to hitch their wagon together, just like we've seen with several ADs in the past.
Bill Moose.
Bill Moose, I mean, he wasn't even here at the end for.
Yeah, I know, but like those were tied.
He was on his farm. Now, some people, Kyle,
Sorry.
they might argue with you, and they'll say it wasn't Troy Dannon that hired Matt Rhule.
Correct.
So his wagon isn't necessarily hitched.
Correct.
To
but I hear you, but they had a prior relationship. Part of the reason why Troy Dannon is even at Nebraska is because of Matt Rhule. So, I mean, they're together. Like there's no shot in hell. Now, I know the people already in here. BA's like, Kyle, are you telling me that if they go 0-12, he's still untouchable? I'm telling.
Is there a number?
Nobody's saying 0-12 is safe.
Barring a catastrophic failure, like I'm talking, what was it, Florida State?
Yeah.
Like barring something like that, he is untouchable until Troy Dannon is out the door.
So then, like your number, it would be like 2.
Yeah, that would be a
1 or 2.
catastrophic failure.
Right.
Yeah.
What about 3?
I mean, we can teeter totter, but I'm talking like whatever quote you want to put on a catastrophic failure. That's what would need to happen for Troy Dannon to be like, bro, you got to go.
Well, because
Mike
still hasn't gone, but yeah. What?
No, let's let Mike go.
The only way Matt Rhule could save his job by winning 4 games is if Dylan Raiola broke his leg. Literally, that's the only possible way, is that you had no quarterback depth. And even then, Heinrich Haarberg won more games. So there is not a scenario where Matt Rhule keeps his job if he only wins 4 games. I think.
So you think 4 is the?
I
4
think
is dead.
4
is
is
safe?
You're dead. 5, you are safe
for now.
But there's going to be some other things that happen. Like if you win 5 and Dylan was healthy and Dylan transfers, you're probably gone.
Ooh.
Or maybe they want him gone. Like,
we're just dooming.
So there's like catastrophic
this
shit,
is doom
right?
and gloom shit, guys.
Right. Where like Dylan, he's like, you know what? This isn't developing me for the NFL. I'm going to go somewhere. I can go anywhere, right? Like he can go play anywhere. He leaves. I doubt it.
Well,
if Dylan struggles with Holgerson as his OC, that kind of goes back into the point of the thumb kind of shit, though. I'm just saying, like,
well, I mean, yeah, man, we're this is supposed to be fucking hope season.
Yeah,
okay.
We are in doom and gloom right now.
Hey, take that Kool-Aid shot. We'll be your chaser. I'm trying to be a chaser right now, guys.
So,
if something doesn't go well,
I'm going to tell you right now.
If Husker football history has shown us anything, it's that can happen.
100%.
I'm reading too much into it after only seeing 1 season, but I don't know the last time I've seen a player commit not only to the team but to the university like Dylan Raiola has.
I agree.
Sure, 100%.
I mean, I think Adrian was pretty committed, though.
Well, yeah, and right. No, 100% Adrian was there, and when Adrian went to K-State, like I did not fault him in any way.
They told him he had to leave.
Yeah,
so
I didn't fault him in any way. But I like the Dylan transfer thing. Like I'm not concerned about that. I think Dylan wants to be a Husker. And there's a lot of players in the roster. Like we obviously have seen transfers out this season that found greener pastures that are better for them. I don't think Dylan is even looking at other pastures. Not. He is a guy that wants to be a Husker. He is. We talked to. Well, actually, it was when we interviewed Adrian. I got to tell Adrian that I thought he was the epitome of what a Husker QB should look like, and I think Dylan is exemplifying some of the same traits that he wants to be here. He wants to fight through. We saw him at the Purdue game, come out when he was injured and try to continue playing. Ultimately, he like collapses on the field and has to be pulled. Or was that UCLA?
UCLA.
It was UCLA. But I think Dylan has that. So I don't think Dylan transfers. I don't think that's going to be the thing. Like you said, if he gets injured and, we go to 5 wins, eek.
Eek.
But yeah, if you have
all monsters.
If you have Dylan healthy and you get 4, as much as I love Matt Rhule, I don't know how you can explain that away.
I'm just saying, if you win 4 and Dylan was healthy the whole time, maybe Dylan isn't as good as we thought he was. That's all I got to say.
Sure.
Like that'd be bust territory. If for some reason we only win 4 with a 5-star quarterback
all season,
that's Jamarcus Russell type shit. I'm just saying, like something
really
bad would have had to happen.
Catastrophic. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying. Catastrophic.
100%.
The only way Matt Rhule is touchable is if something catastrophic happens.
Is there anybody pissed off in the chat? Who's pissed? Is there anyone pissed that we're now? It's May,
right?
It's May. That's why we're talking about this.
And this is such a ridiculous conversation just to have anyway. But it really just fills the hour.
You know,
right?
I mean, it's kind of a fun conversation.
It is.
Matt Rhule still has only won 6 games. Like he was 6-6. I mean, 7-6. You wouldn't count the bowl game.
And guys, we like Jared, like you mentioned, like the chaser to your Kool-Aid, right? Like there are still, after 2 years, there was still a lot of questionable shit going on the sidelines.
100%.
Listen, I was
just
going to ask Mike, is part of the reason why we're having this conversation is because we've seen signs of things that stick around. You know what I mean?
There's something in the water here, man.
Poor game.
Something in the water.
Okay, Scott.
The close losses, man.
It's a meat grinder. It's a meat grinder here.
It's the close losses. It's always been about the little things,
right?
And the little things can be challenging a 3-yard gain. It can be a number of things, right? The way that you work your running back room. Why this person is a wide back all the way so wide that they're on the sidelines, and then sometimes you bring this guy in, he runs 2 times, and then this guy comes in, he runs 1. Like for the longest time, there's been a lot of controversial, just questionable decisions being made from the sidelines. In the last 2 years, it's been the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why you have these conversations, because one, it's just fun just to, just chat about.
Hypothetical, guys.
Hypothetical.
We are all actually, you know what? Good opportunity, guys.
Oh,
it's May. The spring has ended. What's your Timmer rating right now, guys?
I was literally just going to say, there's a reason why I've kept my Timmer rating at a tepid, just like 5.1, 5.2, because I just cannot get over the game management and the melting down in the fourth quarter. It happens a lot. It
even happened against Boston College.
Like
it almost did. It almost did.
Like, listen. There's going to be. What do you think? There's going to be 3 or 4 games this year where it's going to come down to having sound game management, using timeouts in a sound way, using
challenges.
Just challenges and stuff like that, right? Because after all, what's the big talking point about the Big Ten and Big Ten West teams? It's low scoring. It's boring football. Every game's a rock fight. Every game comes down to one play that you fuck up, and it's always Nebraska fucking it up. There's going to be 4 games like that, at least 4. So, can you be the team that doesn't F up and lose?
Yeah, I mean, can you be the team that I feel confident when you have a chance to go down and win it? You're going to have a game-winning drive to go kick a field goal.
Who's going to make it?
Yeah, well, but that's what I'm saying is like, are you going to be the team that I can feel confident? Like, hey, this is a rock fight. We need to go down and we need to be the Iowa. We need to be the Northwestern. We need to be all these teams that over the years, the Minnesotas have gone down the field and had a walk-off field goal to win the game over and over and over again. That seems to always go the opposite side of Nebraska. And the other Dave says, in year 3 of Rhule with DR in our transfer portal haul, I expect wins over Iowa, Michigan State, Northwestern, UCLA, and Iowa. The Big Ten middle that you should be better than by now, plus 3 non-con equals at least 9.
Okay. The other Dave, you want to hear something though? Those teams you just listed, they look at their schedule and they see Nebraska and they say, dub. I'm just telling you that right now.
Sure do.
They all bust teams.
1,000% look at their schedule and say, we should beat Nebraska. Because you know why? They have. They have beat Nebraska. So you expecting those wins against those teams that we haven't beat is honestly probably unrealistic. I hope so. On paper, we should beat them. We're more talented.
I think that comes down to a little bit of mentality. And like you're right, they have beat us, and they do look at that schedule and see Nebraska as a win.
They see it as a win.
But to that effect, in a weird way, because of that, my Timmer rating has increased only marginally. I believe last time we gave them, I was a 6.5.
Okay.
I'm now at a 6.8.
Okay.
I'm not given the nice number quite yet. 6.8. But I think it's because Matt Rhule is at least for now, been incredible about developing locker room leadership. On the offense, we see Dylan Raiola and Emmett Johnson. Those are offensive leaders, guys that this team seems to be rallying behind in this offseason.
Sure.
And I think that's going to help in those close situations and in games like that. My question, because I answered the Timmer rating part, but as you guys give your Timmer ratings, a question I have for you is, who is that defensive leader right now?
Well, you could say Marcus Beaver, right? You could say, I mean,
Hartzog?
I can tell you who I want it to be. I want it to be
Riley Van Poppel?
Elijah Judy, but is Elijah Judy
Good enough?
good enough?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, a lot of people are mentioning Elijah Judy as a senior leader and all this stuff. And I'm like, what has he done? This is not an insult to him, okay? But he's been there a while. And usually, if you've been to a place as long as he has, you're making your presence felt more than he has. I'm not saying he's a terrible player, just meh. And he's on the most important fucking position group on the defense. And you've lost numerous guys at that position. You're going to need Elijah Judy to step up and be a leader.
Sierra Wright is your DB leader.
And he's a guy that
Backed it up.
was productive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sierra Wright in the secondary, it's probably going to have to be like a Watson Trent guy. So one of the new guys is going to have to be that second level. And then I think on the D line, it's got to be a Judy or it's got to be Riley Van Poppel.
You know, and like
I think
you could talk about Cam Lenhart. Lenhart's been there.
Hopefully one of those guys steps up, right?
I think I see Lenhart as a pretty intelligent young man.
Sure,
like
I agree.
I think he holds himself very well. He seems very mature. I could see him like holding people to a standard. So if I were to pick anybody, it'd probably be him.
I like that.
Okay.
And it's just with the secondary, you have, again, I said this last week, you have so many guys and it's like it's like a gumbo back there. You just got ingredients, all kinds of ingredients. What's going to come out? I don't know.
Dark Husker says Jacob Bowers? Question mark.
Oh boy.
I threw the question mark on.
Okay. Since we're being doom and gloom here.
Oh boy.
Damn it.
Shut the laptop.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Here we go.
Why'd you shut the laptop?
Oh, look. How do I want to say this? Jacob Bowers, nice story. Hard worker.
Love the story.
Love the story. Hardworking kid. Heart's in the right place. And I think
First one in, last one out.
Go on, keep going.
Glue guy.
I'm sure his dad is a coach somewhere. You know?
Who wants to say the last one?
I won't.
No, I'm not doing it.
Listen, hey, if you know, you know. Damn it.
But
If we're talking about Jacob Bowers being a significant contributor, what kind of record are we talking about here? I'm sorry. Like, what kind of record are we talking about?
That just tells me, like, what happened to Vincent Shavers? Like, was he not good? What about Watson Trent? Like, what about these other guys? What about Buddha?
Look, and I get
Buddha,
it.
right? Like, there's a lot of guys in that position.
We also have to consider the fact that maybe the only reason Rhule is talking about Bowers is because he wants to give him his flowers.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need to give Shavers his flowers.
No.
Right? But there's also a part of me that is like, if he is going to be one of your significant contributors in the Big Ten, I worry about your record. I think you're going to go 6-6-ish again. Like, we're not talking about the year 3. Hold on, what do we talk about? It was the bump, or what was it? The bump versus
the 3-year bump versus
what was it?
Gosh,
damn it. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe think about that.
yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago.
It just makes me a little worried. If like we're talking about him and he's like going to be one of your main guys on defense, because well, who are the other guys in the room here? Come on, you have to have players better than Jacob Bowers.
Can we verbally
Bowers.
Can we verbally trademark something right now? I'm going to do it. I'm going to say this season we're going to see one of two things.
Oh, pop versus progress.
Yeah, pop versus
Sorry,
progress.
go.
But I think we're MDNR is trademarking this now. I think in year 3 we're going to see one of two things. It is the 3-year Matt Rhule bump or the 3-year Matt Rhule slump. I don't know that we're going to stay right where we were. We're either, again, with the talent we brought in, we're either going to see that bump or maybe it is. I think in my mind, we see the bump.
Sure.
You'd hope so.
Okay.
Of all the additions,
Yeah.
Players, coaches, etc. Before I answer, I want to ask you guys, what has been the greatest addition over the last, let's call it, year and a half? Discounting Dylan Raiola. I mean, let's discount that. But what is coaches and players alike? What has been the greatest addition, and where do you see the greatest benefit to this program in that time span?
It's just the thing, and I'm not saying your question's a bad one. It's just
it's very broad.
Like when you ask about greatest additions, especially in this era where you just have so many new additions and you don't know who's this guy. There's just so many that you could pick from. Like, I want to say one of the O linemen that came,
but it could be coaches too.
Oh yeah, no, coaches and players. Mine, I think is, for me, it's very easy. But I want you guys to answer first because I don't want to taint the pool, and also I don't want to get clowned right away.
I don't know. You're just hitting me with these questions.
All right, I'll tell you right
away.
Dana Holgerson.
Yeah, it's Dana Holgerson.
Yeah.
Dana Holgerson,
my bad.
I think creates this immense benefit because of his experience. And when he got in and finally got to start controlling play calling, we saw a lot of progress. Imagine what happens from the end of last season to the start of this one, where he fully gets to implement what he wants to do.
And he's one of the reasons why I, Mike, you brought up that, what's the number? 4. It's like with Dana, that can't and it won't happen.
I hope not.
You know what I mean?
I hope not.
It won't.
I'll tell you what, if we only win 4 games this season,
oh boy,
Jared will get a Hawkeye tattooed over his heart.
I'll do the Brett Bielema. Get the Tiger Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiger Hawk, whatever.
So just to kind of like wrap a bow on football, I'm still at like a 7.2.
There you go.
For my Timmer rating.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed. Okay. It hasn't changed. Obviously, it hasn't grown. It hasn't, because I'm seriously just at a point where it's like,
gotta see
just get the games underway.
Yeah.
And I know it's the most painful thing because we talk about this stuff every Monday. And as we get closer to the season, we're going to be, oh yeah, this team will like, I got to stay true to like just keep my Timmer rating here, and we'll see how the year plays out.
Don't be so up and down.
Yeah.
With the daily crap.
Yep. Okay. With the last 10 minutes, our boy Justin, regular listener, he says, depending on how the season ends, is Bolt gone after this season?
No.
So
not happening.
Listen, just sticking with that.
Oh, if he pulls a Nebraska ball and misses the Big Ten tournament, is he gone?
They will. Listen, if they don't make the Big Ten tournament, he will not be fired. He will not be. If they have a season like this next year,
he will be.
Then we'll have some speaks. We'll at least have some speaks. But I just think there's not enough investment in baseball and all that crap. Just won the Big Ten tournament title last year. That's an automatic mulligan receiver or giver, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and you lose your starting pitcher.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had 2 very large injuries near the beginning of the season. I think had those not happened, we'd be marginally better. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win the Big Ten regular season.
Though.
Yeah, the bats have been tough. But no,
hit or miss.
Is anyone in this room gonna say that we fire Bolt after the season, or are we all on the same page?
No,
it's not gonna happen.
I've got to be honest. I got to be honest with you. I don't care.
Well, no,
we're not firing Will Bolt.
That's the exact thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
Because there's just a lot of people like you. They're just like,
Yeah, he's a Nebraska guy. Keep him.
it's nice outside. It's like 80 degrees. I want to go to a game.
I will say, Carly and I did go to one of the Big Ten tournament games last year.
Fun.
We had a great time.
Because they were good.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
I want more of those.
My question, and it's not so much for you guys. I'm sure you probably have the same question that I do, is why the hell did we wait till the end of the season to figure out how to win games late?
Well,
What is that about? Like
they have these seasons where they just get scorching hot at the end,
yeah.
like last year.
I mean, they're not a bad team. They're not great.
I'll say this: they're going to make the Big Ten tournament. They will. And once they make it, they have just as good a shot as anybody to win.
Yeah, because it's a freaking crapshoot.
Like if Gabe Swanson if he decides to hit 600, then
they got a chance.
they'll have a chance.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got Benny Mack coming on the show next week. He's a
Good-
perfect
good
guy we
timing.
can talk to about Nebraska baseball.
And that'll be after the Purdue series. So it'll be going into the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
They will make it. They will.
What do they have to do? How many do they have to win?
I think that as long as they win one game at Purdue, they'll be fine. Because they're currently tied for 9th right now.
Our boys are at Purdue.
Right.
They
Our boys.
are.
Oh yeah, the guys we met at the Purdue game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool dudes.
They were very nice.
But they're not.
Um,
That's at Purdue, isn't it?
it is.
It's too bad.
So
Choo-choo.
I unfortunately I forget those guys' names, and I know they actually
Brandon.
they followed us.
Brandon,
I know that.
Brandon
So if you guys hear this episode, it was really nice meeting you. I
They
do
won't listen.
wish the worst for your team. I hope you lose and lose bad.
They're both actually really good.
They are. They're putting.
no, they're good players. One of
Yeah.
them came from, was it Clemson?
No, one came from Louisville, and
Oh,
one,
Louisville. That was
and
it.
one came from Kentucky. No,
Shit.
He
I
was
don't
from
know.
Kentucky, but he was a smaller school. Louisville's the big one.
I think it was like Vandy, something like that.
I
Damn
don't
it. I don't know. I'm
know.
sorry.
Irrelevant. That was
Sorry.
like a year ago.
Sorry.
It was like 8
That was
months
less
ago.
than- yeah.
But yeah, it was like 8 months.
Any other commenters about anything? How many people watching?
4,000.
I always tell you, don't ask me that.
Yeah, 4,000.
That applies this time too.
Sure.
Damn it.
I don't know. I do want to give a shout out to Jordy BAHL and the Skurs.
Yeah.
Baton Rouge.
Jordy BAHL sweeping every major award.
Dude,
She's good.
she is for real.
I don't know who it was, and I'm sorry if you see this clip or listen to us, but somebody said she is the Shohei Ohtani of college softball, and I don't think there's a better comparison.
She's good.
Dude, they're like Nebraska's like ranked like 3rd in the nation with home runs, and she owns like more than a dozen of them
Yeah,
as a pitcher.
Yeah.
And I got to long story short, I'm doing a docuseries on Oklahoma State softball for Mizuno. So I've been going down to Stillwater. Well, we traveled to Wichita to watch Nebraska versus Oklahoma State because obviously Heard at Sports is interested in
sure.
Nebraska versus Oklahoma State, right? We got to kind of double dip a little bit. And Jordy BAHL is for real. So is Ruby Malin, the pitcher for Oklahoma State. She is for real as well, but she doesn't hit. Jordy BAHL is like, she is a unicorn for real.
Well, we talked with Nate Rohr last week. It's too bad that they didn't have a better run in the tourney.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes that's better that you don't make a run in the tourney and just get burnt out. Especially like Jordy, like she's gonna pitch a lot.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's the thing.
save her arm for a little bit.
Well, and listen, UCLA, I'm sure you guys have not looked at this, but like since like 1950 something, they have won like 12 national championships. Like UCLA is a storied softball program. So like that is one of the destinations for a lot of the best talents in the country. So it was interesting that when I saw they were playing and they ended up losing, I was like, I mean, it checks out. Like they are a storied Oklahoma, UCLA,
They didn't
Arkansas.
They didn't lose to a bunch of bums.
Right.
So bums. You can't talk about women like that.
I'm sure you guys
It's not very nice.
watched the selection for the NCAA softball tournament.
I did.
Did you really?
I mean,
Did you-
I saw
did
the
because
results.
yeah,
I
you're
have to.
covering it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the reaction? I believe it's Boston University that got drawn to play Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, obviously, for those that don't know, Oklahoma has won 4 straight.
They're really good. Jordy BAHL played there.
Jordy BAHL did play there, but
Yeah.
now she plays for America's team, the Cornhuskers. But so Oklahoma obviously gets drawn, number 1. And Boston University gets drawn to play them, and it pans to it goes to their locker room cam, and every single one of them immediately just surrender Cobra.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I mean, Boston U has a great record. I've learned more about softball this year than I think I ever have. And I think it's the excitement around this Nebraska team that has really drawn me in.
I mean, prior to me doing this docuseries for Mizuno, Mike and I went to after the spring game last year.
Yeah,
we went to
a
it was like a free game. You show your spring game ticket and they just let you in for free.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It is fun. Softball, ladies and gentlemen, I think you're sleeping on softball. I really do. I mean, it is fun to watch. It's fast paced. The game doesn't last 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hit and get. Yeah, it's hit it and get it. And yeah, the ladies get fired up.
Well, and they just set the Nebraska record. They had their first sellout
Ever.
last week.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that was pretty cool. I think Nebraska, I mean, they are definitely doing what Nebraska does and clamoring to something that if they're good, if they're hot, Nebraska fans are going to show up. They're going to show up. They're going to show out. They're going to watch it. They're going to be entertained and pay attention like you guys just said you were doing.
Yeah.
So,
I had a conversation recently about how, Nebraska is a hot spot for women's sports.
Mm.
And I told them that they were wrong. Not because they were wrong about women's sports being supported in the state. Nebraska is just a hot spot for sports. Like we
care.
We just care.
Yep.
yeah.
And the university has given us a lot of things to care about in recent years. So like
Only
they're
showing
going to
talent.
see that.
Yeah, we care about our sports, but we're not
Nice.
freaks.
We're also not nice.
We don't
We
have
talk
any.
about that.
No, we're not. We're nice. We're nice to
Spirit
Jordy.
Squad, Yell
we're-
Squad, Yell Squad.
We're nice to the teams that win.
We're nice to Jordy BAHL.
Yeah.
We're nice to Tommy Frazier.
Yeah.
We should start.
Well-
like an NBNR Yell squad.
Should we?
We should invite
What
all
would
of our
that-
friends and family out. We'll yell out. We'll wear our overalls.
Start
I
choreographing.
spank
in the
you. You
studio.
spank me.
No.
We're a big happy family.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They've already got that Waldo in the stands.
Hey, I
They're
can
good.
take my corn cob. Woohoo!
Pass.
Let's fire everybody. Which reminds me, just like real quick, I don't know if you guys saw this, the most toxic fan bases in college sports,
Are we on the
or
list?
maybe it was college football.
Are we on the list?
We're not on the list. You know, what number 1 was, right?
Is it Tamu?
Iowa.
Which is
I saw that list.
like, I don't know how to feel about that. Because I feel like if you're the most toxic, you're the most plugged in and dedicated, right?
They don't give a fuck.
Right, and that's it. It was almost like a badge of honor, because, like, if you're an Iowa fan and you see that, you're like, yeah, that justifies, like,
We can't.
yeah, we're awesome, and like, yeah, we care more. It's like, no,
Well, and
we
so-
weren't on there, and Texas A&M wasn't on there either.
Yeah,
That's weird.
I think to be
Who made the
considered-
list?
Barstool,
Oh yeah.
your boys at Barstool.
Barstool Hawks. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think to be considered a toxic fan base, you have to be like, as a rule, you're just dicks, right?
Yeah,
They are dicks.
I've
Sure.
gone to a number of games at Kinnick. A lot of Iowa fans have actually been really cool to me.
Yeah.
I've
They're
had
scumbags.
I've had
all of them.
good times in Iowa City. For me personally,
Dying a hole.
I would put number 1 as Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado wasn't on there.
I think any
Missouri wasn't.
yeah,
I'm like, what kind of list is this?
Toxic.
I don't think Iowa deserves number 1
Texas
there.
A&M is like the definition. Iowa's not toxic. They just suck,
Dude,
Their fans fucking suck. They don't care. They care more about wrestling than they do football,
hey,
and they'll still beat us.
let's not talk shit on wrestling.
I'm just saying.
But like, you
They-
could talk about Bama. Bama's still living in the Saban years.
They're not toxic.
Like,
Hey, Mike would know this. You know what Iowa should be number 1 in? Not most toxic fan bases, but best at hawking loogies in people's faces.
Yeah.
again, I throw Colorado in the
Scumbags.
mix.
Scumbags. All their fans.
Mike
Scumbags.
still has PTSD.
It's not PTSD.
Yeah.
They just suck. Their fans
Dude,
suck.
I've been to Minnesota Stadium one time. I was with you guys.
I've been there 3 times.
Yeah, I was there with you guys, and my only real interaction with a fan was after Nebraska lost. We were walking out of the stadium. I don't know if you guys remember this. We were just talking amongst ourselves, like, "Holy shit, how did we blow that?" And I had one Minnesota student get in my face and tell me, "Have a nice long drive home, you fucking redneck."
You fucking.
And I was like, "Dude, you're just Canadian Nebraskans. Like, why are you toxic to me?" By the way, that season, they did go to a bowl game, but it was on an academic thing. They were 5-7 by the end of that season. You don't have room to talk shit.
But we didn't make a bowl game.
We were also 5-7 though.
Yeah.
Like,
But
you
they-
did beat us.
They beat us.
Minnesota is one of those places that Nebraska can't win.
They're
Yeah.
just Canadian Nebraska.
Unless you're Kenny Bell, you're on a Kenny Bell team. That's the only way you can beat frickin' the Gophers in their own place
I want to punch PJ Fleck.
because he beats us.
Mostly.
Andy wears short pants.
Yeah, get him, Kyle.
Yeah, nailed it.
Boat shoes.
Got his ass.
What an idiot.
And he has a weird eye now because he got hurt in some weird accident.
That was all the Botox.
Ha!
The guy definitely gets Botox, right?
No, he had a whole surgery done.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least that was
that's
the excuse.
better.
Anything
Nothing
else?
wrong with Botox.
Anything else? Mike, you never give your Timmer rating.
My Timber rating's still at a 6. It's been at a 6. And it's not going to move until I see them play in Kansas City against Cincinnati in Arrowhead.
So 5.2, 6,
He's at
6'8".
7. He's
6.8.
6.8.
Kool-Aid Kyle.
7.2.
Ooh, 7. So, I mean, if you're going to give a 7 or a 7.2, we're just going to call it a 7.1.
We're going to call him Kool-Aid Kyle.
Kool-Aid cow.
Because I'm cool.
Is that why? Is that why? Keep eating your fucking pizza over there.
All right, let's fucking wrap up.
Wait, I thought we had more on Scott.
No, we
No,
don't have
no,
any
no.
more on Scott.
Wait, I thought there was a. What do they call? Never mind. Fuck it.
We put the label on it, and then we ship that to any country that is not here.
Well, you have to pay tax.
Yeah.
It's like we've closed the chapter, but wait, there's more. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I just feel like we're missing something.
We're not.
I don't want to
It's
close
guys-
out yet.
Guys, I haven't
don't wanna
been here
close
for
out
like
yet.
2 weeks.
Yeah, and you're stuffing your face
Shit.
with pizza.
Hey, you've earned it, Kyle.
Kyle,
You've earned it.
I have earned it.
he hates epilepsy.
He's our
As we
growing
all do.
boy.
He said, "Fuck epilepsy." Epilepsy's like, bro. It's not my fault.
that's fair though. Fuck epilepsy.
Well, yeah, but epilepsy's like, bro. It's genetics. What am I supposed to do? It's not my fault.
All right. Let's sign off.
Yeah, that's
What do you
a
hate
weird
me
way
for?
to end this one, boys.
It's not like I wanted to be in the gene pool. Like, it's not my fault.
So,
NBNRpodcast.com. Spotify. Yeah, his sound effect is way better.
Do it again.
Apple Podcasts, Twitter, Instagram, all the same handle for y'all. Make it real easy for you. Real easy. Because it's really hard to type with those trotters.
The hooves.
Your little curly tail.
stop.
You know, it's funny. I was walking down the hallway.
Dude.
No, what
my
are
school.
we doing now?
Close out.
I was walking down my school, and the anatomy class was dissecting piglets.
Yeah.
I'm like, that looks like one of our listeners.
no.
Oh no, one less listener. Oh, I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Connor Cadillac.
Kyle Byers.
As always, Nebraska softball eventually beat LSU. Baseball beat Purdue. Am I missing anybody? No. I think that's it. In GBR.